and ever seen like you've seen all the good horror movies. Um, and like you've exhausted every jump scare, every ghostly apparition, every terrifying twist. Well, prepare to have your assumptions challenged. Um, Beyond the mainstream hits, there's a hidden world of genuinely unsettling, creatively brilliant horror films waiting to be discovered. These aren't just forgotten flicks. They're the films that quietly influenced the genre, the ones that dared to be different. Uh, uh, for decades, these gems have lingered in the shadows, overshadowed by bigger budgets and broader appeal. They range from silent era nightmares to quirky cult classics, each offering a unique and unforgettable experience. So buckle up because we're about to delve into 10 underrated horror films that deserve a place on every horror fan's watch list. Um, so let's start with 1971's The Abominable Dr. Phibes. And and Vincent Price delivers a truly inventive performance as Dr. Anton Phibes, a disfigured genius seeking revenge on the surgeons he blames for his wife's death. The film is set in an Art Deco fever dream of macabre elegance, uh, blending camp and carnage. Phibes' murders are styled after the biblical plagues, creating a darkly creative spectacle. It's strangely beautiful with lavish sets and black humor, and a truly unforgettable villain. Next, we journey to Estonia with 2017's November, and this gothic fairy tale is unlike anything you've seen. The time of money new part came in, set in a 19th century village steeped in folklore. It follows peasants who use black magic and sentient farm tools to survive the harsh winter. Shot in stark black and white, it feels like a feverish dream, weaving together pagan myth and surreal imagery. It's hauntingly beguiling, unsettling, and strangely romantic. Let's rewind to 1932 with White Zombie. And this is the first full-length zombie film ever made, but these aren't the flesh-eating undead you're used to, and they're mindless slaves created with voodoo. Bela Lugosi stars as the sinister voodoo master, and the film is steeped in eerie atmosphere. Though primitive by modern standards, it established the zombie as a cinematic monster rooted in spiritual enslavement. Now, let's step into a stormy night with 1932's The Old Dark House. This is the quintessential haunted house movie filled with strange characters, morbid humor, and eerie suspense. The film mixes gothic horror with biting satire, creating a uniquely campy sense of menace. It practically invented the strangers trapped in a spooky mansion trope and does it better than most. And prepare for a bizarre trip with 2004's Satan's Little Helper. This low-budget black comedy horror follows a naive boy who unwittingly teams up with a masked serial killer, believing the murders are part of a video game. It's a dark satire that its targets desensitization to violence, and the killer's mask is genuinely unsettling, and it's smarter than it seems, and still ahead of its time. Now we venture into the realm of silent cinema with 1922's Haxan, part documentary, part nightmare. This Swedish film examines witchcraft, superstition, and hysteria through surreal recreations. It's a disturbing and tragic masterpiece, and the first folk horror movie. It's an essential piece of early cinema and has been reimagined with new scores and edits over the years. Let's travel back to 1924 with He Who Gets Slapped. This silent horror drama tells the tragic story of a scientist who becomes a circus clown after being betrayed. Conrad Veidt's performance is both beautiful and horrifying, capturing the pain behind a permanent grin. It's an emotional and haunting tale that influenced decades of psychological horror. Prepare for a theatrical nightmare with 1973's Theater of Blood. Vincent Price delivers a gleefully over-the-top performance as a Shakespearean actor who seeks revenge on the critics who mocked him. Each death is inspired by one of the Bard's plays, and the film is a savage critique of art snobbery, and it's a wildly entertaining and unforgettable horror classic. Now let's delve into the world of German Expressionism with 1926's Faust. This visually stunning masterpiece tells the timeless story of a man who sells his soul to the devil that the devil was. Using groundbreaking special effects, it transforms the screen into a living nightmare. It's a haunting and tragic tale of temptation and redemption. Finally, let's confront the tragic figure of 1928's The Man Who Laughs, Jane Mild Buddies. And long before the Joker, there was Gwynplaine, a disfigured man forced to live with a permanent grin. Conrad Veidt's performance is both beautiful and horrifying, capturing the pain behind a forced smile. It's a haunting tale about beauty, deformity, and the horror of being seen only as a spectacle. So there you have it, 10 underrated horror films that deserve a place on your watch list. Hopefully you discovered some new favorites or perhaps rediscovered some forgotten gems. And remember, sometimes the most terrifying stories are the ones that linger in the shadows. Speaking of shadows, did you know that Vincent Price was a gourmet chef in real life? Apparently, he used to host elaborate dinner parties for his fellow horror actors. Talk about a killer menu. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you next time.